Hello, everyone. So let's discuss a bit about packages in Java. So in Java, packages are somewhat similar to what they are in Python. But this name convention which has to be followed. For example, if you have, let's say, a source code in your .java file, uh, it has to be contained within a class, and so the expectation is that your Java file will have a single class, okay, single public class at least, and the name of the class should match the name of the file itself. So for example, if you have a.java, it should contain the class which is also named as a, okay. So, and there's also this regulation that you cannot have two public classes in a single Java file, because then, how would you name that Java file if it has two public classes? Okay, so your Java file should contain a single class at most. And then we can have, you can wrap your classes in a package as well. So when I say package in Java, what it means is basically a folder that contains your classes in .java format. Okay, so imagine that you have my Java test folder. Inside that folder I have this source folder, and in that folder I will consider that folder as a package, and then within that package I will create my classes, and each class will have will be saved in a separate file. Okay, so we have a single class pair.java that contains my pair class, whatever that is. And then I basically explicitly identify, okay, so this pair class belongs to this source package. Okay, now what you can do is that you can create a second file, shoes.java, which will contain once again your class shoes, and it will also belong to this package source. Okay, so in that way your package can have multiple classes each within a single Java file. Now with respect to these packages, there is a difference between how access modifiers work in Java versus how they work in C++. So first of all, you can, there are two levels. So in terms of class, I can say that, okay, maybe some class is private, public, or abstract or final, but if you'll see that, you cannot declare a class as a private class. At class level you can only have public, or maybe if you don't explicitly identify, if you don't write anything, by default that class is package private. And by that I mean that that class will be available to all the other classes that share the same package. Okay, so this is how you cannot have private classes. You can have either have public classes, which means that if that class is in some package, it will not only be available to that package, but also outside that package. If you do not specify anything, that it is package private, in the sense that that class will be available within the package. The only it will only be available to those classes that exist within the same package. So now I'm saying that this is a private class, so it's compiler throws me an error saying that you can only have a public, abstract, and final keywords. We will see that how these keywords are, but just to wrap up, you can have abstract classes as well, and you can have final classes, those classes which are not to be inherited further down the hierarchy. Which means that, for example, I have a vehicle class and some child class extending that base class. If I define this class as final, okay, then this means that this class cannot be inherited further. Or if I simply say that, okay, final class vehicle, then compiler will not let me inherit anything, any class. For example, it will throw me an error saying that you cannot create a child class truck which inherits from vehicle class, because I've said final class vehicle in this line. Okay, so final keyword allows you to explicitly say that, okay, I'm not going to inherit this class down the hierarchy. Now, so this was access specifiers at class levels. At member level, which means that I can also say that whether this object key is public or private, or what. At that level, we can have four specifiers. So we can say that, for example, let's say we have a package. That package contains two Java files. One is alpha, which contains alpha class. The other one is beta, which contains beta class. And then we have a second package, and that second package, one file of that second package basically extends alpha class. Okay, so it's a child class, but the base class and child class, they exist in different packages. Okay, and then some other class in second package as well. Okay, so we have two folders, couple of files in one folder, couple of files in second folder. Now, what this means is that if some class alpha, if some variable, if some member of this alpha class is public, then this means that it is available to beta, alpha, some alpha sub, gamma, everywhere. If it is protected, if any member of alpha is protected, then this means that, well, it is available within the package. It is also available to all the classes that reside outside the package but inherit from alpha, but it is not available to any class that resides outside this package, or that does not inherit from alpha class. If you do not specify any modifier, I don't specify any modifier over here, for example, there is no modifier, there's no public private keyword in here, then this means that this object is available if the member of alpha is there is no modifier specifying its visibility. Then what happens is that this variable is package private in some sense, just like the class is package private. What this means is that this variable this variable of alpha class will be available to beta as well, and also to alpha as well. All the classes that share the same package will have access to this member of alpha class that has no modifier. But if this member of alpha is private, then this means that obviously it is only available to alpha. It is not even accessible outside alpha, even to those classes who reside in the same package. Okay, so this is how package this is how the member privacy looks like in Java. Okay, in the next videos we are going to see advanced topics, including how can we resolve covariant data types.